Commitment, the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, etc. We've all made commitments throughout our lives here on Earth, whether that commitment be a relationship, marriage, a job, or even just a simple task. I would like to argue and say that everybody has committed themselves to do something new on New Year's, at least once. We've all made commitments. Some might have just been bigger than others. This is what this reading is all about. Commitment, specifically, not committing. We all know and understand what committing is and consists of, and many times it can be difficult for us to commit to things. Since our human nature suggests that not committing to something is easier than committing to something, then everybody should be able to do this with ease. It's a very simple concept. Don't commit to any form of suffering, for example, a breakup. Why would you allow your mind to commit itself to suffering through a process such as that? Do what is by human nature easiest, don't commit to it. It's a very simple concept. Don't commit to any form of suffering, for example, a breakup. Why would you allow your mind to commit itself to suffering through a process such as that? Do what is by human nature easiest, don't commit to it. There are many people who I personally know that have struggles committing towards going to the gym consistently. No matter how much I motivate them and try to help them, they simply just don't want to fully commit themselves to going. I also have friends who many times try to commit themselves to eating healthier. After a few days, they get sick of it and decide to not fully commit to it. There are many people who I personally know that have struggles committing towards going to the gym consistently. No matter how much I motivate them and try to help them, they simply just don't want to fully commit themselves to going. I also have friends who many times try to commit themselves to eating healthier. After a few days, they get sick of it and decide to not fully commit to it. Being committed to something takes a lot of time and energy to do. In fact, there was a study done back in the 1950s by a plastic surgeon by the name of Maxwell Maltz. He had discovered that it takes humans 21 days in order to form a new habit. This was later found to be false, even though many of yesterday's biggest self-help professionals used this 21-day method, including Tony Robbins. It was later found by Philippa Lally that it takes roughly 66 days in order to form a new habit. With this study understood, you can see and understand why it's extremely hard for humans to create new habits, to be fully committed and invested into something. With this understanding, it's easy to see why not committing to something is much easier by human nature. I'm not discouraging any of you to not commit to different things in life. I'm simply stating this so that you can understand how easy it will be for you to not commit to suffering. As you may have read in my previous blog posting, it is in fact a choice to suffer. It's entirely our decision upon whether we want to suffer or not. It all begins with our own minds, our conscious. Also spoken of in the last blog posting, we are constantly making commitments to ourselves daily, saying things like, "I will never again." Believe it or not, this has a seriously huge impact on how we live out our lives. Saying "I will" has just as much of an impact on us as saying "I won't." When spoken consciously, "I will" can have a profoundly positive effect on our lives. If we were to declare something such as, "I will stop suffering," it can benefit us beyond our wildest of dreams. We don't have to stop there, though. We can use that statement for literally anything that we want to declare in our lives. For my friends that have commitment problems with the gym, Simply say, I will start going to the gym more often. It's as simple as that. It takes absolutely no skill whatsoever, just a mere couple of seconds. But of course, just saying these declarations once isn't going to change anything, so we must add it to our daily regiment. I've made it a part of my mornings to wake up and immediately think to myself, today is going to be a fantastic day. That alone is enough to get me motivated and moving in the morning and puts a smile on my face almost immediately. Although this is a very simple and easy process to do, even on a daily basis, dealing with any emotions isn't easy for anyone. In order to shortcut through our pain, we must first voice our emotions, whether they be anger, sadness, regret, fear, or whatever it may be. This means that you need to speak now and voice your emotions immediately. If you were to sit around and prolong this essential step, you will forever be in pain and misery. Some might say that there's a right and wrong time for certain things, but when it comes to our emotions, this is something that needs to be released immediately. Otherwise, we are prone to suffering further. This suggests that we need to be willing to forgive and forget every situation, which is something many of us struggle in doing due to being unexperienced. I, for one, struggle with this today, even after going through so many different things in life. Naturally, as humans, we tend to take all of our pain, suffering, and agony and put it all into this book bag that we carry around, which is called the story of our life. Nothing keeps pain more alive than remembering it, so learning to forgive and forget is essential for moving forward in life. Suffering is perpetuating the pain from our past and carrying it through our present and the future. Having this power, which we call commitment, is extremely potent, something that is so powerful that it can alter our lives entirely. We have a choice to make, to be satisfied with our life, or to be complete with whatever has occurred, to live effortlessly instead of struggling, to be free of worry and free of the past. These commitments that we make to ourselves give us power. They release us of the idea that we are victims of anything in life. Discipline is the key in making our commitment to not suffer a reality. Discipline is not in making the promise to ourselves, but in keeping that promise every single day. No matter what is going on, no matter what challenges we are currently being faced with at any moment, we must keep that promise and keep it close to our hearts and minds. Some days, we might have to remind ourselves of that promise multiple times just to make it through, and that's okay. We also must be sure to not allow ourselves to get caught up in certain thoughts or moments that could lead us to breaking that promise we made to ourselves. Oftentimes, we might have to find something that is going to keep us distracted from thinking those thoughts that might make us break our promise. Being engaged in other challenging activities might be the key to resolving that issue. We must be sure that we do not allow ourselves to be shaken away from our promise to not suffer. Know that the stand we make to keep this promise does not imply that we are heartless or cold, nor does it mean that we no longer love the people that we have lost. To promise ourselves not to suffer means exactly that, to not allow any pain or suffering into our lives. This promise is our management system for our emotions and reactions to every situation, not a system that shuts us down from the world. Knowing this means that we can be free and to remember without pain and love without anguish. There is such an enormous power that is available within all of us when we make the decision to take a stand for ourselves and our lives. Making the choice to not suffer in our lives and truly and fully living out that commitment every day will open the door to new opportunities and experiences. This profound statement of self-respect generates joy and happiness within ourselves. This commitment to not suffer can powerfully enhance our lives and create unimaginable possibilities. Great possibilities open up each and every time we are willing to take this stand for ourselves and to alter our lives in any way. I encourage all of you to live your life like this daily. Start this very second and make the declaration that you will not suffer, and make that declaration a promise. Each morning you wake up, I want your first thought to be exactly that. Tell yourself that you will not suffer and that you will not allow anything in life to harm you. Understand that we all possess the power to do this. We just need to make it a promise and to keep that promise every day for as long as we live. By making the simple promise, we can all live out our days without suffering. We can finally take yet another step closer in reaching our new human heights.